Valve's new console and controller. So this guy, Linus Tech Tips, apparently got his hands on it. Let's see what he says about it.
Valve dropped 3 absolute bombs today. The Steam Frame standalone VR headset, that's going to have to be a separate video. But this one focusing on the new Steam Machine, and yes, the wait is finally over, the 2026 edition Steam controller.
I'm interested in the console, but I'm more interested in the controller. Like, I'm a controller player, always have been, including on PC. If I can use controller, I'm using controller. I want to know, is this any good? Especially these things here. Like, are these things good?
Let's start with a little history. Over 10 years ago, Valve announced their first version of SteamOS, a Linux-based operating system that would free gamers from the shackles of Microsoft Windows. No, it was a total commercial flop. But instead of giving up on Steam machines, Valve doubled down, working with game developers on Linux native ports of their games and with open source developers on the Proton compatibility layer that makes their Steam Deck handheld out-of-the-box compatible with thousands of Steam games, even ones that only ever shipped on Windows. The Steam Deck is believed to have sold millions of units at this point, and no wonder given its great balance of solid gaming and outstanding affordability.
Trying to do the same kind of thing as well.
But its mobile form factor has given it
it's clearly a good
limitations and left gamers hungry for something more substantial.
Sure, loud
and
noise,
well,
smell.
here it is. I'm calling it the lunchbox. 1, because it's substantial, like lunch. 2, because it's cube-shaped, like a box. And 3, because I think this thing is going to eat Xbox's lunch. Okay, that last one was a bit of a reach.
I think Xbox is kind of dead already because of the direction that Xbox has gone down. So I think Xbox is going to be ahead in terms of cloud gaming in like what, 5-10 years. But in terms of like the console, who cares about Xbox, right? PlayStation's only good really because of the exclusives, which isn't exactly a great thing for consumers. It's just I choose PlayStation over Xbox because it's got these specific games. Steam, though, I think it comes down to the price for convenience. How's it priced, and is this as convenient as a console?
But not as far as I'm reaching for this segue to our sponsor.
Hold up, RoveLab is having a
what is
sale,
this?
60% off. They're easy to move and they're easy to use.
This shit's some fucking millennial creation slop, huh? But that's fine. It's
Hear
just
that?
the way it is.
That's the sound of the holidays coming. Because if you spend over $100 at LTTstore.com, you'll get a 1 in 10 chance of winning something big. You can win a pair of Sennheiser HD 550
Nice headphones.
Or if you're really lucky, you may be selected to win a brand new ROG Xbox Ally X.
And there's
This
the
is
Xbox
fun,
Steam Deck.
But hurry, you only have until November 26th. Shop now at LTTstore.com.
In what has become typical Valve fashion, they've been atypically open about the new Steam machine, giving us direct access to the engineering folks
Crazy
who worked on
how
these
it's coming
devices.
out early 2026
The only thing
as
I
well.
didn't have today was time, so we're going to get through this as fast as we can. At the heart of the Steam machine is a 6-core AMD Zen 4-based CPU that turbos up to 4.8 gigahertz with 16 gigs of RAM
I'm gonna be honest,
and an 8
I don't
gig
know
GPU that they compared to a 7600 XT.
I'm going to assume hard drive is
They
this.
were also quick to point out that it might not be apples to apples thanks to their custom software stack and power tuning. Basically, the goal was that pretty much anything on Steam should run at 4K 60 FPS if you're willing to turn down the details and use a little bit of FSR upscaling. And we saw that on display with Cyberpunk running in the demo room at these settings. Valve says to expect about 6 times the performance of the Steam Deck. Now, I was a little surprised to not see an SoC with shared memory, but apparently the decision to go for discrete
I'm
CPU
curious
and
its
GPU
performance
came
compared
down
to
to
PC
balancing
and also
cost, power, size,
console.
and performance. And also they just didn't feel like they needed to. And I guess Valve was right, because they nailed this thing. Compared to a more traditional ITX small form factor machine like the OG Steam machine reference design, you can see that It's a lot smaller.
Yeah. Compare it to PlayStation as well. Like, a huge criticism to PlayStation 5 is the size. Bro, this thing's so fucking big. Oh my god. It's a skyscraper. It's inconvenient. It takes up half of your fucking desk. It's almost the same as a PC. It's why? But the Steam Cube is just a block, like just a nice small convenient block that can probably go anywhere. It's great.
More on par with a highly integrated design like something like the Framework Desktop. Investment disclosure.
What's that?
Like the Framework Desktop, Valve allows customization of the front panel using these magnetic plates, and they're going to provide the CAD files so you can put whatever your heart desires on here. They even had a machine in the demo room with an e-ink display that was showing system vitals. Pretty darn cool. But
I wonder if you're able to upgrade this, like a PC, right? So like to the Xbox, you can't upgrade the consoles, right? I don't think you can anyway. I wonder if this can be upgraded, and if so, to what extent? Because like a hard drive can probably be upgraded, but like everything else, who knows?
But unlike the Framework, it has a programmable RGB strip in the front that could be used to personalize your style, or maybe show a progress bar while you switch your TV input and wait for your game to be downloaded. The sky's kind of the limit. The front of the device has a power button, micro SD slot,
USBs.
2 USB 3 5 gigabit per second ports. Then the rest of the I/O is in the back, where you'll find 2 USB 2 Type A ports, a USB-C 10 gigabit per second port, no display port on there, that is worth noting. Gigabit.
But it says display port. So there isn't a display port? Huh. So you can only plug it using the HDMI, I guess? Is that what he's implying?
Ethernet power in for the integrated power supply. Good gravy, this thing is compact. As well as an HDMI 2.0 and DisplayPort 1.4 port. It is worth noting that HDMI 2.0 port, they have tested it at HDMI 2.1 speeds, but there are a couple of features that are not implemented, so we can't call it HDMI 2.1. Also at the back, we have a large 120mm cooling fan that draws air from both the intake on the bottom that comes up through the power supply, as well as the large heatsink on the front. We're going to crack this thing fully open in a sec, but first I want to talk about the Steam controller.
Nice.
No, not that Steam controller. The new one with the exact same name. Before you...
I'm going back to that again.
No, not that.
This is the old controller for Steam? I wonder why it failed. Apparently people enjoyed it though. Damn. That's horrible. It seems like inconvenient and uncomfortable.
That Steam controller, the new one, with the exact same...
It's also worth as well pointing out, Steam chose to be inspired by the Xbox controller instead of the PlayStation. Now why? PlayStation controllers fucking suck. They suck. They're horrible. Everything about them is horrible. The placement of the buttons, gross. The touchpad, why? Does it even exist? The sound coming out of the controller. A third of the cost is done on the touchpad and the speakers in the controller. Who fucking cares? Half of the people use headphones anyway. And 2, who even knows how the touchpad works on the PlayStation controller? Do you know how it works? No, I bet you don't, do you? It only works when you don't try to use it. Example, playing Bloodborne, you're trying to kill a boss, and then your finger just slightly scrapes across, and then your character just goes, oh, and you're dead. That's the only time it ever works. They suck.
Same name. Before you ask, yes, I made my case to Valve that this is unnecessarily confusing. No, they're not going to change it. The good news is Valve learned a lot from the first Steam controller, and this appears to be their most complete offering ever. To be fair, the original was really cool. I mean, it made non-controller games finally playable from the couch, thanks to their innovative haptic touchpad. They all
Yeah, I do think the concept is cool, being able to play like specific games on controller, which you can't because you don't have like a pad. But it's gross and clunky.
Also unlocked novel input schemes with gesture control or like swiping with momentum. But they also turned off a lot of folks due to their deficiency of traditional joysticks. Well, that's solved now. The Steam controller is everything that is great about the controller on the Steam Deck, but usable when your Steam Deck is in docked mode or with your Steam machine or with
It's also got the buttons on the back, kind of like a Scots controller.
On the surface, it offers up a conventional ABXY button layout with a PlayStation-style symmetric joystick design that will work seamlessly out of the box with basically any game. The trackpads have been repositioned to better accommodate the arm's natural position while holding a smaller device compared to the wider Steam Deck, and all of the usual Valve buttons are included. A Steam button for opening the menu, their quick access button for bringing up the SteamOS overlay, 4 rear programmable buttons. The face buttons are satisfying with a nice amount of resistance, and the D-pad has been tuned from the Steam Deck for better feel. It feels okay to me, but I only got a couple minutes with it before Valve blew my mind. The joysticks are next-generation TMR or tunneling magneto-resistant joysticks, boasting superior accuracy and durability even compared to Hall effect joysticks. And
a huge problem on controllers is like a bunch of dust gets in between, like here, and it causes controller drift. That shit is fucking annoying. It's so annoying. And maybe this one could be better at preventing that dust and controller drift.
The controller has been designed from the ground up for a superior gyroscopic aiming or mousing experience.
I don't know what that word is.
Thumbsticks and even capacitive grips, so you can configure your gyro to enable or disable depending on whether you put your thumb on the stick or even by simply loosening your grip, say to recenter and then reactivate gyroscopic aiming. They had a great demo with Balatro showing how you can use the game's built-in controller compatibility like a pleb, or...
That probably isn't the best game to showcase that. I think you need like a... probably Total War, maybe? And even Counter-Strike. Just to compare the accuracy between the pad and also the stick.
Hear me out. Trackpads with the right for movement and the left one split down the middle for left and right click. Or hear me out again. Gyro mouse using the face buttons for clicks. And if you don't care about gyro aiming, these capacitive inputs are all remappable as well, opening up a whole world of possibilities. Let's go even deeper. Okay. In addition to the haptic, texture-like feedback that you know and love from Valve's previous touchpads, the Steam controller has been upgraded with large rumble motors for better immersion and a large battery that they claim should be good for 35 hours in the most demanding applications, and even better if you don't need quite as much rumble. But I have...
I think as well, it's important to bring up, well, it's kind of important. You've got like the screw holes on either side, and this means it's easy to take apart. The current controllers for Xbox and PlayStation, if you have to clean it from the inside, it's a pain in the fucking dick to take apart. It's so annoying. I don't know why they took away the quick access using the screws. I just don't get it.
But I haven't even talked about the best part. If you've ever gamed over Bluetooth, you know that it can be inconsistent at best.
Never.
Valve's solution? The puck. Every Steam controller comes with a wireless dongle that clips magnetically to the Steam controller using a couple of nice, strong alignment magnets. And it uses...
The only time I've ever used a dongle is on the Xbox 360, where you have to connect to the internet using the fucking, again, it's dongle. Bro, that shit was horrible. It was so bad. Like, it barely worked, but you kind of had to use it because the Wi-Fi weren't exactly great either.
is a proprietary 2.4 gigahertz wireless interface that Valve claims is good for about 8 milliseconds end-to-end latency and offers up superior resiliency when you're using multiple controllers. It allows 4 controllers per puck, so that's not as good as the Xbox dongle, which can do 8, but Valve has tested up to 4 pucks on a single system for a maximum of 16 players, meaning that you're probably going to run out of seats on your couch before you run out of controller compatibility. The last chef kiss on top is an IR emitter that's cozied up beside the power LED to help you find your controller when you're in VR. I love it. Now let's get back to the Steam machine who got naked while we were busy.
Nice.
While Valve's goal was to build something that is zero hassle, grab in game for the non-tinkerers, they really were laser focused on a console-like experience with quick suspend and resume and modern standby so that your games are already updated.
So the Steam Cube is clearly trying to be the in-between of console and PC, right? To where computer is a pain in the ass to get started if it's your first time on PC. It is constant updates. You have to go out your way to find everything, which you don't even understand half the things. And then you got console. It's just like an easy, convenient plug and play, right? So if Steam is trying to bring console players over, they have to give you the best defaults possible, and also it has to be cheaper than a PC as well, because you have to provide something for the average person and it's convenient. But if you price it at a PC, then people would probably just choose a PC over this. So it's about creating that perfect balance between them.
When you sit down to play. They also fully acknowledge that there are folks out there, guilty, who are tinkerers, and they've come up with an ingenious design for this thing that allows it to cater to both audiences. In advance,
I'm a retard.
No, you're not going to be swapping out the BGA soldered processors. But what you can do is upgrade the storage with next to no hassle to a 2230 or larger 2280 sized M.2 drive. And while we couldn't go that deep today,
so you can't
Valve
change
also confirmed that the memory uses standard SODIMM slots. Finally, while Valve hasn't actually told iFixit that this product is coming yet, they did say that they're hoping to continue their partnership that they've had on the Steam Deck, making replacement parts available for end users. Awesome.
Can you change the fan?
Since we're in here, by the way, there are some really cool details that I'd love to highlight. The power supply, for one thing, is fully integrated to the point where it's actually part of the chassis, and the cooling solution pulls air directly through it, which avoids any need for it to have its own fan. The aforementioned Delta cooling fan is actually slightly thicker than the standard 25mm for extra static pressure, and it includes antenna mounts that are integrated into it, along with I/O mounts. Cool, right? This is actually a great look at the 4 antennas. So this is the back of the device, where you have your 2 antennas for Wi-Fi 6E. Then if we flip it around to the front, we've got 1 antenna for Bluetooth peripherals and another one that is dedicated to your Steam controller or controllers. So that puck that's incled with your controller is actually extra, strong and you could chuck it on another PC
connection is
or
between
next to your couch
the Steam Cube and
a major question mark, though, is
the Wi-Fi.
Price. Valve wasn't able to give any specific numbers due to rapidly evolving market conditions, but they will obviously have it nailed down when the Steam machine launches.
Price. So I don't think it's going to be priced the same as the Xbox or PlayStation, because PlayStation and Xbox tend to be valued based off of a loss, and all of the profit comes from like the subs, the game passes, the paying to play online, and also exclusive games, right? But Steam doesn't have these things, so it's probably going to cost more. But to keep it under a PC's price, I think PCs start to get pretty decent about $1,500, and they start to get good about $2,000. So I think the price of the Steam Cube is probably going to be between $800 and $1,400. And I think the controller's probably going to be between $100 and $200. Because it's kind of the same as a SCUF controller. and scuffs tend to be between 100 and 200. That's just the a quick off the top of my brain head thing.
Launches in Q1 2026 alongside the new Steam controller. They did give me one hint though. They said that while they expect it to be very competitively priced with a PC, that it will be priced like a PC rather than like a console with games subsidizing the upfront hardware.
PlayStation Pro, $750. Oh my God. So if you buy the PlayStation Pro, if you want everything, it prices out up about $1,000, by the way. So yeah, I think it's gonna be over. It's gonna be over $1,000. I think it is gonna be 1,300-1,400. If they go over that, I think it's going to cause. So if this is the price of a PC, like a decent PC, why not just buy a decent PC when you're able to upgrade PCs constantly? This thing can't be upgraded, I don't think, except the storage. I think I'm curious on the pricing. I really am.
Hardware purchase. They wouldn't say why, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's partially to avoid stepping on the margin opportunities of their potential partners for Steam games and Steam software, but also because they recognize that the Steam machine is a full-fledged PC, capable of being used as a full-fledged PC. There's no guarantee then that, say, a corporate purchase of 10,000 of these things would result in a single game sale. So they really do need to protect the sustainability of their hardware business. Another major question mark is, where the heck is standalone SteamOS for custom PC builders? Well, we aren't going to get a formal SteamOS release for BYO hardware configurations anytime soon, but Valve has expanded the list of supported third-party devices, and they have supported installing the Steam Deck recovery image on AMD CPU and GPU systems for some time, and recently updated it to support their latest Zen 5 and RDNA 4 architecture processors. So nothing prevents you from building your own Steam machine and installing the software for free, though you will miss out on some things. HDMI CEC control, for instance, required Valve to build a custom motherboard in order to have your computer turn on alongside your AV receiver. And to get that on a BYO PC would require some serious cooperation between hardware makers that I don't know if we should hold our breath for. But the bulk of the experience should work pretty much out of the box. We may even get a release that supports a broader range of hardware in the future. But the vibe I'm picking up on around here is that it really depends on better support.
I'm kind of curious if you can also connect a PlayStation controller and the Xbox controller to the Steam Cube as well.
For Intel, and especially
just in case you don't enjoy the Steam
I'm
controller.
Also picking up this vibe to our sponsor.
Another one?
Hey man, I got a new couch and I think I need some help. Bro, you know
it's the same one. Okay.
Today. Come on, it won't take long. Okay. He doesn't know it's an M1 sofa from Rove Lab, babe. Moved it and set it up by myself. Now I'm watching Grab a Ray. I really don't wanna lift a couch right now, but he's been there for me, and I'm gonna find a way to help him somehow. Man, you made it, but it's already set up. Man, you're the greatest. How did you lift it by yourself? It's made of strong, yet comfortable foam, and it's easy to move anywhere in your home. And so why did you need my help? Want you to help me celebrate, because there's a Black Friday sale and everything's 60% off, brother.
Okay.
I tried to get through everything, but I only had about 4 hours to get briefed on everything, right, and film, so my apologies. Now, assuming that one's up yet, go check out the video on the Steam Frame VR headset, because it's a game changer, it's a big deal. Please make it clear that this is not a real product. Sorry.
Huh. It's see-through. I couldn't care about this thing here. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know why companies always try to push the VR. Like, it's just who cares, right?